Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 24 of the Leetcode Daily Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about today's problem. Basic calculator 2. Implement a basic calculator to evaluate a symbol, expression, string, in division, empty spaces. Is there order of operation stuff? Dude, I was just going to say you could actually do a UL, but okay. Let me see. This would be 7, right? Okay. So, yeah, because this is 4 plus thing. Otherwise, if you don't do order of operation, it'll be 5 times 2. That'll be 10. Okay. So I don't think this... So in this case, there's a little bit easier in that the only 2 things that we have to take the precedence on. So we can do that. We can basically... And I'm going to do this a little bit hacky. The other algorithms that you can do this recursive design is, just tokenizing everything and then parsing everything out into a expression tree and stuff like that. But I'm just going to do it the lazy way because it ends up being an implementation problem. But again, so I think you can just start by looking at the multiplication and the division tokens, and then just calculate the components, and then for each of those components you calculate those. I know it's a little bit abstract, but this is quote unquote basic math, so it's just about implementation. So I'm going to focus on the implementation. And first, how do we want to do this in terms of learning, in terms of naming things, right? And you can actually describe a language if you really want, and then do the recursive design that way. But yeah, and let's do it that way. Okay, so we have. So I was going to look at how do we do empty spaces. Let's get rid of the empty spaces because why not? So S is equal to S that replace. This is not super, it is a linear scan, so it should be okay. But it's not super, fancy or anything like that. But yeah, so we want to define the language. We have, let's just say, you have, let's just say 2 numbers. You can have, number 1, number 2, or something like that. So okay, well, if we want to define the language, we could say a statement is equal to something like left operating right. No, that's not right. It's what you call it? Let's just call it block. I don't even know if that's correct, right? Where a block is, and if this notation seems weird to you, it is from basically grammar class. So I would definitely recommend you looking it up and reading about it. It's been a while for me as well, to be honest, but yeah, or just block in general, maybe. And block could be also another block, another operator, another block, and also trying to think whether this is the best way to represent it, but it could also be, so you put an or thing. Excuse me. I guess it could just be a number, and I think maybe that's good enough. And op is equal to some just basically plus, minus, multiply, division, and I think we probably should phrase this in terms of priority, but basically essentially that's a language, and number is just obviously 1 to 10 or something, or maybe not 1 to 10, but the digits are 1 to 10, but just some number, right? Some number. And okay, So based off this grammar, we can just go directly to kind of parse it one by one, or letter by letter, and but I'm going to do a little bit hacky because I don't think this is an interesting problem, to be honest, but it is something to practice if you're having trouble with it, especially with respect to complexity. But yeah, so I'm going to do something like, let's just say that's split. How do I split by multiple characters in Python actually? So maybe this is a learning thing for us as well. Keeping in mind that I do solve this live, so let me know what you think. I am trying to learn about how to explain this because, to be frank, it may be that it may be that I'm not as familiar with this one as I should be, to be honest. But at least enough to be able to explain it in a good, deep way. But yeah, so then now when we split it by this, we have, let's just say this is different blocks. We could print them out just for debugging because I want to make sure that this is quite, nothing to repeat at 0. What? Oh, I have to escape them, that's all. Okay, so that's not good. I was hoping that was switched by the thing, but did I get this the wrong direction? Does this work? Thanks for exploring with me. Okay, so this works. Oh, I have to do an OR, that's why I forgot that this is, I was, okay, I was thinking about another language where just handles things a little bit differently. So, okay, so division OR thing. Okay, but now we also want to keep the token because it is important to know whether we it is important to know whether we do whatchamacallit, a multiplication or division, right? So let's do that. I'm just looking up the regex thing, but maybe that's okay. All right. Okay. I think I spent too long trying to learn this library. I'll probably learn it on my off time. Apologies for that. Hope you're still watching. But I'm just going to do it string character by character, right? So yeah, how do we tokenize this? By this. Let's have a helper function that's split by some characters, say, and a string. And then we can just do it character by character. We have an answer equal to do for x, in an array, for x in s, if x in characters, then we split it. We add an empty string, else we take the last character and then we just try s, right? But this does the same thing in terms of it doesn't give us the token, right? So let's let's make sure that we do that, but let's make sure that it works first. Okay, so this looks okay, but now we want to we want to also represent some info with that. So let's also append x, say. So then now the invariant is that you know, all the even numbers are blocks, and all the odd positions are the stars and the multiplication and the other wings. So then now we can just do something like, okay, and the way that we did it now, and it's a little bit hacky, but I'm just going to try to get it done, which is that now we know that all these things are you know, they have the same priority. So it makes things easier for this problem. I think for harder problems, again, read up on recursive descent, and you know, yeah. So I would just say parts is equal to this. So for yeah, so so now we could say for part in parts, if part is equal to x how do we do it? If this is not in star these two things, then that means that this is a number, and that we took the last number and then, you know, do some magic on it. So yeah, so okay, so let's just do this, right? If let's just say answer is equal to let's just say calculate parts of 0. Also, if length of parts is equal to 0, we'll return. I guess this is still good. And then now we could just do it from the up. If that's not in it, then we want to take the let's also just do last operator. I don't know. To be honest, I do not recommend this video. I think right now I'm just doing a lot of hacking. Yeah, so I would definitely not recommend it. But you could use this as a video to see how Larry would approach this, maybe in a hacky way during a contest. But to be honest, I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this. Definitely, you know, maybe upsolve it in your own way and do your own research another way, but using me as a reference, as a, you know, maybe a dubious way. But yeah, okay. So that's operator is equal to part. Else, we could, if last operator is equal to a star, then we just take the answer and then we do it to calculate this part. Else we divide it by calculating part. And okay, is that good? Yeah, okay. I'm just trying to look for the division case. Should truncate towards 0. I think that should be okay. Maybe on negative numbers is a little bit weird. I have to double check that one. But then now we have to implement the calculate function, so this one allows us to calculate the plus and minuses. So now we do the same thing with so now we could do a split by just plus or minus on the s. Could probably abstract the other part as well. Let's do that. Let's abstract this part by calling it, you know, calculate multiply divide s, and then put this in there. I think that is fair. Definitely pretty rusty on these kind of problems, to be honest. Used to be better. but because nowadays people would just use UL. But okay, so now answer is equal to 0, and then for part in parts, we can set the last operator is equal to plus, just because by default. And then if part is in last operator is equal to part, else last operator is equal to plus, int of part, else it's a minus into part, return answer, return calculate multiply divide of s. It's not my prettiest code, and also I'm not a fan of this, so like I said, I do not support it, and also it happens to be wrong. Oh, did I do this backwards? I think I did this backwards by accident, but that's okay. So let's so it's very easy to get the party wrongs as well. As I just did clearly. But now that I think about it, the way I did it, I literally do the multiplication last, which is the opposite of what you want, right? So we can actually change this really easily. Well, maybe not that easily, but well, first of all, now we calculate s to begin with. And then this is automatic, and this should be an int at this point. I mean, my code is clean enough that you know, just a minor change can fix this, though I might have some recursion thing that I forgot to remove. So this is just int, yeah, because by then you only have numbers left, and that's why if you put out the grammar in a good way, and I think I needed to make distinction between multiply and plus and stuff like that, but I was a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, I forgot to hit submit yesterday. I don't know if anyone noticed, but now my streak ended a little bit. I have to use this time travel ticket to get it back. It was kind of silly, kind of sad, but sometimes mistakes happen. You know, I explained that video very well. But yeah, this is accepted. This actually ends up being an n-square algorithm because we look at everything multiple times. You can do this in linear time if you're really careful about indexes, but I don't like this problem. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with this problem, to be clear. There's nothing wrong with these kind of problems. It's just not the kind of problem I like. So I don't think I gave a good video, but you know, but you could come check it out, check out my code, check out my quick explanation, and let me know what you think. Let me check out the solution. Maybe we could explain it, at least go over it together. And you know, that's something redeeming about this video. But yeah, so there are other things using stack. Yeah, that's true. I think actually stack is also another way that people recommend. I should actually learn this, so so you, or at least like practice it. I know how it works. Optimize the approach about the stack. Yeah, this is basically what I do, but less but what I do is less optimized because I do it recursively. But yeah, I guess this is, you know, pretty straightforward then. All right, well, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit tilted or whatever, but let me know what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and join me in Discord. Let me know about your questions. This, I'm not gonna lie, right? This is where did my solution go? I'm not gonna lie, this is not a type of problem that I'm good at, and I'm, you know, when you watch me do this, everything is live, even the explanation, even me thinking about how to explain it is live. And this one, I don't really have a good sense on how to explain it because it is just a algorithm that you really have to go through in terms of grammar processing and or language processing, and or not language processing, just language defining languages and stuff like that, and grammars and stuff like that. Which is not my strong point, to be frank. So, but I hope you still, you know, get some enjoyment out of this. Hope you watched it on 2x or something. And I will see y'all hopefully tomorrow. Bye-bye.